Elephants, the architects of the landscape, reshape entire forests, altering boundaries and compelling the rhinoceros to defend a water source with all its might. And the African buffalo, a living fortress, ever ready to charge whatever stands in its path, even a pride of lions. At the close of the 19th century, when big game hunting became the sport of the elite, professional hunters gave them a name that would endure: the Big Five. They were chosen not for their size, but for the profound danger and difficulty in confronting them. They are the embodiment of wildness, but power, and of the uncompromising struggle for survival. The lion, a king resting peacefully in the grass, becomes a terrifying force when threatened, capable of reaching speeds of nearly 37 miles an hour. The African bush elephant, seemingly gentle as it browses, can, in a fleeting moment, launch its 6-ton body forward like a living earthquake. The Cape buffalo, also known by the moniker the Black Death, a wild bovine that can unnerve even the most seasoned of hunters. The African leopard, though smaller than the others, is a master of the nocturnal hunt and the lethal ambush. And the rhinoceros, a relic from a prehistoric age, where the slightest movement of a stranger can provoke a charge at anything in its path. Five forces, 5 strategies, 5 emblems of a continent that never sleeps. So, among these rulers, which is truly the most powerful? The answer lies not in a single contest, but in the countless life or death decisions made each and every day. As the golden twilight washes over the savannah, a creature steps out from the shadows, silent, stealthy, yet with an immense authority. It is the African leopard, a predator concealed in the heart of the wild and the clearest testament to nature's art of adaptation. They are not the largest of the continent's great cats, but they possess a ratio of strength to agility that commands respect from any living thing. That power is not merely in its muscle, but in a biological design that is near perfect. Males typically have a body length of 3 to nearly 6.5 feet and can weigh up to 200 pounds, a mass of pure muscle engineered for explosive force. The females are smaller, a difference reflecting sexual dimorphism, where each sex has a distinct role, optimized for different survival functions. Its golden coat, with its characteristic black rosettes, is more than camouflage. It is an evolutionary map. Each rosette is a perfect blend of light and shadow, allowing it to dissolve into the landscape. Leopards in rainforests have smaller, denser rosettes to merge with the deep gloom, while those on the savanna have larger, more open patterns. The leopard's entire frame is a masterpiece of functional biology, a compact yet immensely powerful physique. Enormous scapulae and powerfully developed pectoral muscles give it extraordinary strength in its forequarters. Its spine is astonishingly flexible, allowing it to bend and twist with incredible agility. The long tail, nearly the length of its body, acts as a rudder and a sophisticated balancing tool as it navigates precarious branches. Their limbs, though short, are exceedingly strong, capable of climbing vertical tree trunks with large prey hanging from their sharp canines. It is not unusual to see a leopard hauling the carcass of an impala, weighing twice its own body weight, high into the canopy. This is not a display of pride, but a vital strategy to keep its meal from scavengers like lions or hyenas. Unlike the lion, which needs a pride, or the buffalo, which relies on the herd, the African leopard chooses its own path, silent, solitary, and highly efficient. That solitude is not forced upon it. It is its very essence. Each individual holds its own territory, marked with scent and clawed warnings on tree trunks, a quiet declaration of ownership. This is the Queen of the Shadows, and this is her secret. Beneath a thorn bush, two fragile lives, hidden from the world, are waiting. They are her future, but they are also her fatal weakness. Their eyes are still sealed shut, utterly dependent on her protection and her milk. Every hunt is now more than a quest for sustenance. It is a gamble with the life of her entire lineage. If she fails, they will starve. If she has gone too long, they may be found by an enemy. She must leave, but her greatest adversaries, male lions, are also out there, and they would not hesitate to kill her cubs to eliminate future competition. Hyenas, eagles, even baboons are all potential threats. She moves like smoke, her amber eyes scanning every thicket, her ears swiveling to capture the faintest sounds. She spots a young impala that has strayed from the herd. Now is the time for patience, a virtue honed over thousands of generations. She lowers her body, her belly nearly touching the ground, each paw placed with absolute precision so as not to make a sound. Every muscle is tensed, ready for the final burst. She stalks like a phantom, closing the distance to just 15 feet before launching a precise, explosive pounce. A bite to the throat quickly ends the prey's life, an act that is both efficient and almost silent. She has succeeded, but the meal is not yet secure. The real danger has only just begun. The scent of blood will soon attract unwelcome guests. She must hoist it high into the branches, out of reach of thieves, where the loss rate for kills on the ground can be nearly 60%. She uses her powerful jaws to grip the prey and begins the extraordinary climb. Only when the meal is safe in the tree can she think of returning to her cubs. But will they still be there when she gets back? Just then, the scent of fresh blood has alerted the true ruler of this land. A huge male lion approaches the tree where she has stashed her prize. He wants more than the meal. He wants to assert his dominance. The leopard lets out a low growl, quickly moving the carcass to an even higher position, all while continuing to watch from above. She knows that a direct confrontation would be suicide. Intelligence is her only weapon now. The lion struggles for some time. Its massive weight is a disadvantage when climbing. It looks up as if waiting for her to make a mistake, to drop the precious meal. But then it finds a small piece of bone, still with a little meat on it, something insignificant, and walks away. The queen has won this battle of wits, but the threat remains, always lurking in the shadows. The life of a leopard cub is incredibly fragile. The survival rate in the first years is only about 50%. When protecting her young, a female leopard transforms into a courageous warrior, ready to face any foe. She must constantly move them to new locations to avoid detection. They exist through adaptation, patience, and strategy, like silent ghosts slipping through the cracks of power. In a world of giants, the leopard is a master of quiet survival. To all other species, the lion is a king to be respected, but to the other members of the Big Five, it is nothing less than a merciless and bloodthirsty predator. The roar of a male lion can be heard from nearly 5 miles away, a proud, powerful sound, as if to declare, "This is my domain." That roar is not just for intimidation. It is also a complex communication tool, helping members of the pride locate one another. The male's mane is not merely a symbol of majesty, it is also a shield, protecting his neck during territorial battles. The color and thickness of the mane are also a signal of his health and genetic fitness to the lionesses. Unlike any other big cat, lions live in social groups called prides, a social unit that is both special and unique. Each pride typically has between 1 and 7 adult males, an alliance forged in blood and battle. Surrounding them are the related lionesses, the core of the pride, the primary hunters and the mothers. They raise their cubs together, forming a communal creche, which increases the chances of survival for the next generation. A key feature of lions is a clear division of labor. The females carry out up to 90% of the hunts. Their strength lies in coordination, a strategy perfected over generations. But their favored meals, ungulates like wildebeest or zebra, are not on the Big Five list. Here, there is only the African buffalo, the group's sole ungulate, a formidable opponent. A single lion cannot hunt an African buffalo alone. It requires the strength of the entire pride. And tonight, the pride has chosen its target, an old bull that has been separated from its herd. For most species, an attack by 18 lions would be a death sentence. But this warrior is still standing. The lions bite at its legs and back, trying to exhaust it, using a strategy of attrition rather than a quick finishing blow. The buffalo thrushes, using its massive horns to fling the attackers away. But it is saved by the courage of its herd. Its call has been answered. An entire wall of horn and muscle charges forth, forcing the pride into a temporary retreat. The fight is only paused. The pride has returned. They know the buffalo is wounded. The scent of blood leads them. This time, the buffalo cannot rely on speed. It can rely on only one thing, the strength of the herd. And the herd has answered once more. They will not abandon a wounded warrior. Tonight, the name the Black Death is not for the attack, but for the defense. Horns as hard as steel point outwards, an impenetrable fortress. The pride circles, probing for a weakness, but dares not launch a frontal assault. But the lion's patience is limitless. They wait. Finally, after hours of tension, the injured buffalo collapses from exhaustion. Only then can the pride enjoy the meal for which they paid such a high price. The power of this wild bovine comes not only from its immense stature, but also from its way of life. It is never alone. Look at its forehead. The two horn bases have fused, forming a boss of solid bone, so thick and hard it can toss an attacking lion. This is a natural helmet, an ultimate weapon. Their horns continue to grow throughout their lives, becoming a symbol of age and battle experience. And when a herd of the Black Death, which can number in the hundreds, is on the move, they are an unstoppable force. They have a remarkable memory and are believed to remember those who have attacked them and will proactively charge them if given the chance. Even young lions must learn to swim through flooded areas if they do not wish to lose their lives beneath their hooves. In the war between lion and buffalo, there are no easy victories. There are only survivors. But power in Africa is not measured solely by muscular strength or bloody hunts. There is another power, more ancient and profound. Larger than all the other members of the famed five combined, the African elephant is like a giant sage of the savannah. They are ecosystem engineers, the very architects of the land they inhabit. The largest adult males can stand nearly 13 feet tall and weigh over 7 tons. The most striking feature of their body is the trunk, a true biological marvel composed of some 40,000 muscle bundles, strong enough to lift objects over 750 pounds and precise enough to pick up a single leaf. It is also a tool for communication, producing trumpets, rumbles, and even infrasonic sounds that humans cannot hear, allowing them to communicate with each other over distances of miles. Their tusks, an extension of incisor teeth that grow throughout their lives, are both weapons and multifunctional tools. They use their tusks to strip bark from trees, to dig for mineral salts and underground water, and to defend themselves. Their large ears are not just for hearing, they are also a natural cooling system, A complex network of blood vessels in the ears helps to cool the blood as they flap them, a necessity for surviving the intense heat. Their thick, wrinkled skin retains moisture, acting as a natural sunblock after they take a mud bath. But what is most astonishing is not its size, but its intelligence. This is the matriarch of memory. She is not the largest elephant, but she is the most important. She is the keeper of generational knowledge, a living library of migration routes, waterholes, and safe havens. The survival of the 30 members of her family rests within her 11-pound brain. Paradise is drying up. Now, she must rely on something stronger than muscle, memory. With her 257 billion neurons, she is accessing an ancient map, a map of hidden wells her mother showed her 30 years ago. She leads her family across the parched lands, a grueling journey. For her, this is not just a journey for water. It is a promise that tragedy will not be repeated. She remembers where her daughter fell during the last great drought, and she will not let it happen again. That memory is the only way to pass down life-saving experience to future generations. They can recognize hundreds of different individuals, showing trust and intimacy with those who have helped them. They use tools, cooperate to solve problems, and display empathy. Their emotional lives are incredibly deep. When a member dies, the others will stand quietly beside it, caressing its bones and tusks with their trunks. And years later, they will return to that very spot as an act of remembrance. But even these wise giants have their enemies. In Chobe National Park, a hungry pride of lions has surrounded an elephant mother and her twin calves, an extremely rare event in nature. One lioness distracted the mother, creating an opportunity for the others to attack. One of the two young calves was overwhelmed by the pride. heartbreaking moment, the mother was forced to make a choice, to save the one she still could. She could not lose them both. Although not natural enemies, there is always a subtle competition between elephants and rhinoceroses, especially for precious water sources. An elephant is 2 to 3 times larger than a white rhino, and 5 to 7 times heavier than a black rhino. Even with a sharp horn, the rhino must often yield. At first glance, the most impressive feature of the rhinoceros is its characteristic horn, composed entirely of keratin, the same substance that makes up your fingernails. A biological weapon that grows from its skin, yet, ironically, is the very reason it is hunted to the brink of extinction. Their skin is up to 2 inches thick, a natural coat of armor. Despite their enormous weight, rhinos can reach speeds of up to 34 miles per hour, making them true biological tanks. Their eyesight is quite poor, but nature has compensated them with an extraordinary sense of hearing and smell. Their ears can rotate independently, acting like radar dishes to pinpoint the source of a sound. In Africa, black and white rhinoceroses are distinguished not by their color, but by the shape of their lips. The white rhino has a wide lip for grazing, while the black rhino has a prehensile lip for browsing on leaves. Lions typically avoid confronting a rhinoceros, but sometimes fate arranges a cruel scenario. But the struggle for survival does not only unfold among giants. It is also decided in the sky and hidden in every blade of grass. At a great height, another pair of eyes is watching silently. It is the martial eagle, the absolute ruler of the African sky. With a wingspan of over 8 feet and eyes that can see for over 2 miles, it appears like the wind in the shape of death. Its vision is 8 times sharper than a human's, allowing it to spot prey from an incredible distance. It can distinguish a rabbit in a vast grassy field while flying at an altitude of over 3,000 feet. Its talons are over 2 inches long and can crush the skull of a monkey with a single, precise strike. The grip of its talons is so powerful it could break an adult human's arm. The martial eagle successfully raises only one chick each season, investing all its effort into forging a perfect warrior for the African sky. And on the ground below, another world of lethality is at work. In the foliage, a boomslang snake, a master of camouflage, waits patiently. Its unusually large eyes provide excellent binocular vision, allowing it to judge distances with precision. Elsewhere, the black mamba, the world's fastest snake, glides like a deadly black ribbon, capable of moving at speeds of up to 12 miles an hour. Its name comes not from the color of its scales, but from the inky blackness inside its mouth, which it will reveal as a final warning. When cornered, it will raise a third of its body off the ground, flare its neck hood, and strike repeatedly. Its neurotoxic venom is known as the kiss of death. A single bite can inject enough venom to kill an adult human in minutes. Deep in the jungles of Southeast Asia, the king cobra, the world's longest venomous snake, reigns with formidable intelligence and power. It is the only snake that actively builds a nest and guards its young, a remarkable behavior in the reptilian world. It feeds primarily on other snakes, a king that is also a cannibal. And in the Australian outback, the inland taipan, though shy, possesses an ultimate weapon, the most potent venom on the planet. A single bite contains enough venom to kill 100 men. These predators, large and small, are all masters in the art of survival. They are an indispensable part of a complex ecosystem where life and death are forever intertwined. But all of these great battles, these confrontations between leopard and lion, between buffalo and pride, are nothing compared to the daily struggle for survival against another foe, man. A predator that does not follow the laws of nature. The rhinoceros is the most severely affected, with fewer than 28,000 individuals remaining worldwide at the end of 2023. Their horns, made of keratin, have no medicinal value, yet they are ruthlessly hunted on the black market, pushing them to the edge of extinction. South Africa, home to the majority of the world's rhinos, recorded nearly 500 poaching incidents in a single year. African elephants, though protected, still face the threat of ivory poaching, with some 20,000 individuals killed annually at the height of the crisis. Lions and leopards suffer from human-wildlife conflict, as well as the illegal trade in their body parts. The number of lions has declined by over 60% since the mid-20th century. Habitat loss due to human expansion is pushing them into ever smaller areas, increasing conflict. The Big Five are facing the most dangerous predator of all, one that hunts not out of hunger, but out of greed and indifference. But in the shadow of despair, glimmers of hope are beginning to emerge. Their footsteps are no longer so alone. Drastic measures such as controlled rhino dehorning are proving effective in reducing the risk of poaching. Anti-poaching units are better equipped, using advanced technology and tracker dogs to pursue criminals. For elephants, surveillance by drones, artificial intelligence integrated cameras, and rapid response teams have become key. GPS collars help track their movements and provide alerts when they approach dangerous areas. For lions and leopards, electric fences and warning systems have significantly reduced conflict with local communities. More importantly, conservation programs are increasingly focused on empowering local communities. When local people benefit from ecotourism and become guardians of the wildlife, they become the most effective line of defense. Technology and local communities are acting as a dual shield, creating a protective ecosystem. The Big Five are no longer just symbols of a vanishing wilderness. They have become living testaments to the power of collaboration and hope. Their journey reflects our own. To protect Africa is to protect the Earth, our shared home, where every living creature is a precious link in the great chain of life. Every species saved from the brink of extinction is a victory for us all. Conservation is not just the task of scientists. It is a commitment by all of humanity to the future, to ensure that the roar of the lion will still echo, that the herds of elephants will still roam, and that these sovereigns will reign over their kingdoms forever. How much poorer the world would be without their majesty. At the heart of Europe, a kingdom of ice and stone rises to meet the sky. The Alps, a name rooted in ancient Latin echoing the color white, like eternal crowns of snow reaching toward the heavens. At this altitude, the air turns thin and merciless, where howling winds cut through rock like blades. This is the throne of a true sovereign, the golden eagle. With eyes 8 times sharper than human vision and a wingspan exceeding 7 feet, it commands absolute dominion over the skies. Above the peaks surpassing 13,000 feet, the golden eagle patrols vast territories, scanning every cliff face with eyes that miss nothing. When a target is spotted, it folds its wings and plunges at speeds exceeding 150 miles per hour, faster than any supercar on the ground. But just beneath this monarch, on sheer vertical walls, another confrontation unfolds in silence. Alpine chamois, those gravity-defying gladiators, cling to the precarious boundary between life and oblivion. Their secret lies in extraordinary hooves. Hard outer rims grip rock like crampons, while soft inner pads mold to the surface like professional climbing shoes. In this realm, the summit belongs not to the swiftest, but to those who possess absolute balance. These great fortresses of stone were forged across tens of millions of years of geological history. Roughly 100 million years ago, the African plate began its slow drift northward, gradually squeezing the ancient Tethys Ocean shut. The most violent phase of collision occurred approximately 35 million years ago, when two continental masses crushed ocean sediments and thrust them skyward. That tectonic upheaval gave birth to one of the most formidable mountain systems on Earth. Switzerland, guardian of the Alps' very soul, is home to 48 peaks rising above 13,000 feet. The Dufospitze stands at 15,203 feet, the highest point in all of Switzerland, towering above a sea of clouds. And the Matterhorn, the world's most iconic mountain, rises like a perfect pyramid against the blue sky. This is a land where time itself seems frozen between ice and stone. Welcome to WildVerse, where we explore the most extraordinary secrets the natural world has to offer. And this is the Alps, a kingdom where life writes its story across the highest peaks of Europe, through 4 of the harshest seasons on the planet. When summer arrives at the high peaks of the Swiss Alps, a great transformation begins to awaken from within the ice. The snow fortresses blanketing much of Swiss territory now begin to melt, unleashing energy held captive through the long winter months. Meltwater from mighty glaciers, like the Aletsch and Morteratsch, cascades down vertical rock faces, creating ribbons of silver and flooding valleys with renewed vitality. At lower elevations, temperatures settle into an ideal range of 50 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit, delivering warmth and abundant nutrition to the entire ecosystem. Descending into the subalpine zone, from 5,000 to 6,500 feet, the landscape shifts from barren grey rock to dense forests of spruce and fir. This is the domain of giants, where nature's majesty is embodied in the silhouette of the red deer. Beneath the ancient forest canopy, a mature stag weighing 400 to 500 pounds steps into a pool of sunlight, asserting his dominance across the mountain slopes. Summer is a nutritional race with no finish line. Every individual must seize each hour of daylight to consume vast quantities of fresh grass and young leaves, rebuilding muscle strength after a winter of deprivation. The towering antlers crowning the males are at their fastest growth phase, organic weapons sheathed in soft velvet, laced with blood vessels that fuel their development. They exploit the lush meadows nourished by glacial meltwater, where every blade of grass holds the energy for the power struggles ahead. Deep in the shade of the pine forest, fawns follow their mothers in silence, taking their very first steps into the world. Their safety depends entirely on the dense canopy overhead and the guiding instincts of their mothers to evade the sharp eyes of predators. But the red deer is not the only creature writing its summer story in the Alps. While the larger mammals feast upon the green banquet, a different kind of commotion unfolds across the forest edge meadows. The red fox, a cunning and opportunistic hunting specialist, enters the busiest hours of her year. For a vixen, summer is not merely a time to hunt, but a rigorous training course for her young. Fox cubs venture outside the den for the first time, timid yet brimming, with curiosity about the vibrant world around them. Under their mother's watchful eye, they begin learning to stalk voles, lizards, and insects concealed beneath the thick grass. The vixen teaches her young to use their acute hearing to detect the faintest sounds beneath the earth, a skill that will determine their survival. With the ability to leap 3 feet from a standing position, red foxes execute precise pounces from above onto hidden prey. Scientists have uncovered a remarkable secret. When hunting in deep snow or tall grass, red foxes preferentially leap in a north-northeastern direction. They may be using the Earth's magnetic field as a natural compass to pinpoint the exact location of prey hidden below. They are the most versatile omnivores of the mountain range, readily supplementing their diet with wild berries and forest fruits to maximize their reserves for winter. Family life for the foxes in summer is a symphony of learning, where every misstep can exact a fatal price. The vibrant energy of the subalpine zone on these summer days is the clearest proof that life always finds its way back. Yet, vigilance is never wasted here, for in this world, the hunter can become the hunted in the blink of an eye. And beneath that vibrancy, another drama quietly unfolds under the pine canopy. As summer sunlight filters through the dense forest canopy, the roe deer, the red deer's smaller but spirited cousin, enters the most intense period of its year. Weighing just 40 to 65 pounds, they possess remarkable agility and resilience to navigate the green labyrinth of the mountains. Summer is not merely a time for foraging. For the bucks, this marks the peak of the rut, stretching from mid-July through late August. They chase each other ceaselessly through the undergrowth, rubbing their small but razor-sharp antlers against tree trunks to mark territory and attract mates. Their sharp barking calls shatter the forest silence, an effort to assert strength and establish standing within the population. But the most remarkable secret is hidden within the doe's body. The embryo lies dormant in the womb, suspended in development until December. This mechanism, known as embryonic diapause, ensures that fawns will be born at the most advantageous moment, the following spring, when food is most abundant. To fuel these exhausting confrontations, they exploit the rich vegetation of young leaves and nutritious buds flourishing everywhere. While the males are consumed by competition, the dars attend to a sacred duty, protecting the next generation. Roe deer mothers typically give birth to 1 to 3 fawns and conceal them carefully in dense brush or tall grass to evade the eyes of prowling predators. To avoid the heat of day, roe deer prefer dawn or dusk for their activities, precisely the most dangerous hours. For in this verdant realm, every movement falls under the surveillance of a supremely powerful entity. That entity is the Eurasian lynx, the largest wildcat in all of Europe. Weighing 40 to 70 pounds and measuring 3 to 4 feet in body length, it is a hunting machine honed by millions of years of evolution. That imposing stature is more than sufficient to overpower prey as large as roe deer or chamois, making it the undisputed apex predator of the alpine forests. The lynx's secret weapon lies not in its claws or brute force, but in its uniquely broad paws. These paws function as natural sound dampeners, allowing it to move in perfect silence across steep rock and dry leaf litter alike. The lynx is a true phantom. It typically conceals itself in the deepest shadows of the pine forest, patiently awaiting dusk to begin its hunt. The fading light of twilight is its ally, masking its subtle movements as it stalks and closes in on prey. For any roe deer or chamois savoring the abundance of summer, the sudden appearance of a lynx is the last thing they will ever perceive. One lightning strike, one moment of absolute precision, the lynx never wastes energy on futile attempts. The presence of this apex predator plays a vital role in maintaining the delicate equilibrium of the entire alpine ecosystem. Summer in the subalpine zone is therefore not merely a feast of life and color, but a chess match where every move carries consequence. The strong dominate through muscle, but the lynx rules through silence and supreme patience. Every breath beneath the ancient Swiss forests carries both hope and fear, the most primal essence of this land. As the brilliant summer days draw to a close, the Alps begin a mesmerizing transition. The conifer forests and high meadows are now illuminated by blazing hues of red, orange, and gold, transforming the entire landscape into a living canvas where nature and time converge. Rains begin to fall more frequently, heralding the end of the warm months. The air turns cooler, plant growth decelerates, and wild creatures quickly sense the urgent approach of winter. Autumn brings a gradual but vital metamorphosis, as every resident of this realm must prepare for the severe trials ahead. In this scramble, the red squirrel becomes the very emblem of industry, as food harvesting becomes the highest priority. They devote most of their time to gathering pine cones, chestnuts, and seeds from conifers and deciduous trees. Armed with exceptional spatial memory, red squirrels can recall precisely where they have buried food underground or tucked it into tree hollows. Yet a portion of these seeds is never retrieved, inadvertently germinating and becoming new saplings, transforming the squirrel into the Alps' greatest accidental forester. A fully grown adult weighs less than a pound, but will gain significant weight from autumn's abundant food supply to brace itself against the cold. Meanwhile, at higher elevations, the Alpine marmot also enters its most intense period of activity. They feed constantly on grass, roots, and seeds to accumulate a thick layer of fat for a hibernation that stretches from October through April. Simultaneously, they excavate and repair burrow systems reaching depths of 10 feet, lined with dry leaves and grass to insulate the family. During hibernation, a marmot's body temperature plummets to just 39 to 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Its heartbeat slows to near stillness, and it rouses only once every 10 days to prevent freezing. Living in family groups, they share underground tunnel networks and maintain sentinel posts to detect threats. piercing alarm whistles ring out the instant they spot the shadow of a golden eagle or a prowling Eurasian lynx. Autumn also marks a period of concern surrounding a highly adaptive newcomer, the raccoon, a species native to North America that has quietly spread into Switzerland, particularly across the country's northwestern regions. They focus on stockpiling energy through a diverse diet, from small animals and berries to seeds, exploiting every available resource. Their signature behavior is washing food with their front paws in water, a habit that aids in processing their meals more efficiently. The rapid proliferation of raccoons poses mounting challenges to native species through fierce competition for resources and disease transmission risks. On the high rock faces, autumn's most ferocious power struggle begins as male Alpine ibex return to the herds. Males rear up on their hind legs and charge, the thunderous clash of horns weighing up to 33 pounds echoing across the valleys. The rut extends from late November through January, and only the strongest victors earn the right to pass on their genes. The predator's shadow grows more fearsome as the Eurasian lynx expands its hunting territory, exploiting the distraction of prey consumed by the urgency of fattening up. With broad paws, enabling silent movement across any terrain, the lynx is autumn's most dreaded spectre. Overhead, a great migration commences as thousands of European goldfinches and hawfinches wing southward, leaving the skies empty. The glaciers of Switzerland, the very soul of the Alps, begin drawing their white mantle back on as the sun weakens. Autumn in the Alps is not merely a change of color, but a race for survival. Every chestnut stashed away, every layer of fat accumulated, is a ticket to endure the coming winter. When the first snowflakes begin to fall, the race concludes to make way for the absolute silence of the frost. And only those who are prepared most thoroughly will have a chance to see the sun of the following spring. If you find the struggle for survival in the Alps as fascinating as we do, share your thoughts in the comments below. From November through March, a white and frigid curtain descends, sealing the Alps into a kingdom besieged by ice. At the loftiest summits, temperatures can plunge to -22 degrees Fahrenheit, turning the air into blades that test every limit of survival. Beneath the proud Matterhorn, snow piles 13 feet deep, swallowing all traces of life and rendering the landscape a silent white desert. The magnificent waterfalls of the Lauterbrunnen Valley, thundering in summer, are now nothing but colossal pillars of ice hanging mute against cliffs nearly 1,000 feet high. In this world of white death, silence is not peace, it is the most ferocious struggle of all. In the highest glacial zones, where the boundary between mountain and sky dissolves, a white phantom hides flawlessly among the rock crevices, the rock ptarmigan. This bird is the last living relic of the Ice Age, having endured for millions of years on peaks ranging from 6,200 to 8,900 feet. To survive winter, it performs a miraculous transformation, replacing its grey-brown plumage with a coat of pure, immaculate white, one of 3 annual molts. This winter plumage is twice as dense as its summer coat, serving as a perfect suit of thermal armor against the bone-cutting cold. The rock ptarmigan shelters near large boulders to escape the wind and minimizes all activity, conserving every precious calorie. They excavate small tunnels in the snow, searching for the last remaining roots and buds to sustain a fragile warmth. When darkness engulfs the frozen world, another predator begins its soundless patrol from abandoned farmhouse rooftops in the lowlands, the barn owl. While most creatures are blinded by the darkness and snow, this owl sees and hears what the rest of the world overlooks. Its secret weapon lies in asymmetrical ears, one positioned higher than the other, combined with a heart-shaped facial disc that functions as a parabolic antenna for collecting sound. This structure allows the barn owl to locate prey in three-dimensional space using sound alone, even in absolute darkness. Even when voles hide beneath the snow, the barn owl detects the faintest rustle and plunges from the air, punching through the soft snow with powerful talons. Beneath the snow-laden spruce forests of the subalpine zone, a larger dark shape moves silently through the deep drifts, the grey wolf. Once extinct here, this predator has returned from Italy over the high mountain passes, steadily re-establishing the order of the apex predators. To withstand temperatures of -4 degrees Fahrenheit, the grey wolf possesses a specialized double coat, a soft inner layer trapping heat like sheep's wool, and long outer guard hairs deflecting wind and snow. The wolf's greatest enemy is not the cold, but the gnawing hunger that comes when prey grows desperately scarce. They form elite packs of 4 to 6 individuals, patrolling vast territories for any trace of red deer or chamois. In winter, deep snow becomes the wolf's unexpected ally. It slows the heavy-footed herbivores, while the wolf's broad paws distribute its weight across the surface. Grey wolves track their quarry with unrelenting patience, employing encirclement tactics to drive prey into the deepest snowdrifts and drain their stamina. The wolf's return has begun to recalibrate herbivore populations, allowing alpine vegetation to recover in ways that humans alone could never achieve. On the frigid waters of Lake Geneva and Lake Thun, another scene unfolds with quiet majesty, the steadfast resilience of the mute swan. Though the lake surface is partially frozen over, the remaining open water serves as a final fortress for these regal birds. Swans deploy their considerable size and dense, waterproof plumage to maintain stable body temperature amid water as cold as stone. The secret that prevents them from freezing while standing on ice lies in a counter-current heat exchange system within their legs. Warm blood, flowing from the heart downward, heats the cold blood returning from the feet like two rivers running in opposite directions, exchanging warmth, preventing excessive heat loss, and protecting vital organs. Though aquatic vegetation grows scarce, the swans persist in foraging for whatever nourishment remains beneath the frigid lake. Winter in the Alps is nature's most brutal examination, where death lurks in every gust of wind. Every creature from the rock ptarmigan on the heights, to the barn owl in the night, to the grey wolf packs in the deep forest, must adapt or be eliminated. In that absolute stillness, every breath is a victory. Every day of survival is a miracle. They wait, silent and enduring, until the spring sun grows strong enough to shatter winter's grip. For beneath 13 feet of snow, the pulse of life has never truly ceased. It has merely drawn inward, waiting to erupt once more. When March arrives, the Alpine kingdom begins to shed its white cloak and step into a great resurrection. From the highest summits, ice and snow begin to melt under the sun's growing power, and water as pure as diamond flows from the glaciers, threading through rock crevices to return to the valleys. Temperatures climb gradually from 36 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, breathing fresh vitality into every fiber of the mountain landscape. Lush meadows of velvet green grass stretch toward the sun, heralding the beginning of a new cycle of life and hope. In valleys like Zermatt and Lauterbrunnen, the Staubach waterfall, nearly 1,000 feet tall, roars back to life against a backdrop of fresh green. Beneath the crystal-clear lakes, the returning warmth triggers the proliferation of small fish, opening a grand feast for water birds. This is the moment to witness one of nature's most romantic love dances, the courtship ritual of the great crested grebe. They enter the breeding season with mesmerizing displays, in which pairs face each other and stretch their elegant necks skyward. In perfect synchrony, they glide across the water as a single entity diving deep, resurfacing with weed in their bills, then rushing toward each other in an upright dance upon the waves. Once bonded, pairs collaborate in building floating nests of grass and plant material in the shallows near shore. Each nest will cradle 3 to 4 eggs, attended in turn by both parents who share the duty of protection and incubation amid the cool waters. From distant southern lands, a noble visitor bearing exotic beauty also returns, the hoopoe. With resplendent plumage and a crest that fans open like a royal crown, it becomes a vivid highlight against the subalpine landscape. The Lake Lugano region, with its warm climate and plentiful insects, serves as the ideal landing ground for their breeding season. The young will be devotedly cared for by both parents for 26 to 29 days before they are fully feathered and ready to begin independent life. But the most powerful resurrection unfolds upon the vertical cliffs, where the line between life and death is measured in inches. For the Alpine chamois, spring is a season of new beginnings, harsh, yet brimming with promise. Chamois kids are born right on precarious rock ledges, where the cold still lingers in the mountain wind's breath. Within hours of birth, these tiny creatures must master their very first lesson, climbing sheer rock faces on small legs, carrying the instincts of a born mountaineer. Their mothers always choose the most secluded spots to give birth, minimizing the threat from golden eagles and Eurasian lynx that are ever on the watch. Beneath the subalpine canopy, roe deer also quietly welcome a new generation as the embryos that lay dormant all winter now develop fully. Roe deer mothers hide their fawns deep in brush or tall grass, and the newborns lie in perfect stillness, relying on flawless camouflage to survive their earliest weeks. Spring in the Alps is not merely a shift in weather, it is an epic of resurrection and an indomitable will to endure. Beneath the majestic and seemingly immutable facade of the Alps, a quiet but devastating change is underway. The glaciers, the frozen heart of the European continent, are vanishing at an unprecedented pace. In the year 2022 alone, Switzerland lost 6% of its ice volume, a grievous record, followed by another 4% the next year, totaling 10% in just 2 years. As these strongholds melt, they leave behind not only bare rock, but the shattered hopes of countless species. The rock ptarmigan, dependent on deep snow for camouflage, now becomes an exposed target when the snow retreats too early. Its population has declined by roughly 1/3 since the mid-1990s. Alpine chamois and ibex are forced to retreat to ever higher peaks in search of the cold they require, where food is scarce and living space contracts. The human footprint from gleaming ski resorts to sprawling cable car networks has fractured the migration corridors of red deer and chamois. Even the storied rivers are suffering, with summer flows declining markedly as their source glaciers disappear, threatening native alpine brown trout. Yet in the shadow of this crisis, hope still glimmers. At the Morteratsch Glacier, enormous white geotextile blankets are draped over the ice like bandages, reducing melt by up to 50% each year. The spectacular recovery of the Eurasian lynx since 1971 stands as proof that humans can heal the wounds they have inflicted upon nature. From roughly 25 to 30 individuals initially released into the Swiss forests, the Phantom of the Alps has returned, helping restore balance to the wild ecosystem. And the story of the Alpine ibex is even more remarkable. Once on the very brink of extinction, every ibex in the Alps today descends from a tiny population protected at Gran Paradiso, Italy. From the edge of oblivion, they have reclaimed the highest cliffs of Europe, a resounding triumph of conservation. The future of the Alps does not reside in dry scientific reports, but in the awakening and responsibility of each one of us. Every small action, from choosing ecotourism to participating in environmental protection, is a drop of cool water nourishing life. On the snow-covered peaks, the golden eagle still soars, its wingspan of more than 7 feet cutting across the deep blue sky, as if to remind us that this kingdom among the clouds is still breathing. The wheel of nature turns once more, full of challenge yet overflowing with the purest beauty of creation. And the story of the Alps, a story of ice, stone, blood, and life, will continue to be written, so long as snow still crowns the peaks, and the cry of the eagle echoes through the heights. Every creature carries within it an extraordinary story, WildVerse will continue to bring you those stories if you haven't subscribed yet. Now is the perfect time. Have you ever felt the breath of the mountains, or stood in silent awe before the beauty of ice-capped peaks? Share your story to help WildVerse spread the message of protecting this precious heritage. Crossing the vast ocean to the west, a new kingdom emerges, cloaked in a canopy so deep and dense that even sunlight struggles to penetrate. This is the Amazon Basin, a wilderness stretching across nearly 3 million square miles, a world whose sheer scale defies human imagination. Beneath the fierce equatorial sun, an extraordinary and invisible process is unfolding on a planetary scale, reshaping the very atmosphere of Earth. Each ancient tree here operates as a colossal biological pump, drawing dozens of gallons of water from the Earth each day and releasing them into the air. This evapotranspiration creates the flying river's immense ribbons of moisture, carrying more water than the mighty Amazon River flowing beneath them. They drift through the atmosphere, transporting life and orchestrating the rhythm of global climate, connecting distant farmlands with ice-capped mountains on the far side of the ocean. The Amazon is not merely a forest, it is an intricate life support machine where every link holds a decisive role in maintaining Earth's equilibrium. Yet the true splendor of this kingdom lies in its unparalleled biodiversity, a grand laboratory of evolution spanning millions of years. Here, nature does not evolve quietly. It erupts in an endless arms race among species. Every inch of forest floor is a luminous battlefield, where every adaptation is pushed to its absolute limit for one chance at survival. From predators lurking in murky waters to tiny engineers building vast subterranean empires beneath the rotting leaf litter. Descending through the cloud layer, pushing deeper beneath the emerald canopy, the air thickens with humidity and the echoes of a million lives. This is the green heart of the world, where the boundary between myth and science has never been thinner. A world of pink phantoms beneath the water, assassins, armed with lethal talons, and silent warriors of the forest floor. The story begins now, at the place where water invades the land to create an otherworldly labyrinth. These are the Varzea flooded forests, where life must learn to breathe underwater to endure the punishing flood seasons. A new chapter, charged with drama, about the power and resilience of nature in the greatest basin on Earth, is about to unfold. The rainy season begins high in the Andes, when cascading torrents pour downhill, transforming the lowlands beyond recognition. The Amazon River no longer stays within its banks. It stretches colossal arms across the floodplains, swallowing the virgin forest whole. Past the dark understory and the lush canopy, the emergent layer appears where ancient trees soaring over 200 feet puncture the mist to touch the sky. As the first light of dawn filters through the morning mist, the Amazon's high canopy awakens to a primal and powerful sound. It is the call of the howler monkey, a creature possessing the most powerful voice in the primate world. This deep, resonant call can travel for over 3 miles through the dense forest canopy, a remarkable feat of natural bioacoustics. The secret lies in its throat, which houses a greatly enlarged hyoid bone that functions as a cup-shaped resonating chamber. As air passes through this chamber, it is amplified many times over, turning an individual's call into a shockwave of sound that reverberates through the forest. This sound, however, is not a meaningless display of power, but a clever and energy-efficient survival strategy. In the tropical rainforest environment, constant movement to defend a territory consumes precious calories from a low-protein diet. Instead of engaging in direct physical conflict, howler monkey families use their calls to establish invisible yet strictly enforced boundaries. This is a classic example of how evolution optimizes behavior to avoid unnecessary conflict, maintaining peace within the population. Beyond their role as the broadcasters of the green forest, howler monkeys perform another critical ecological function. They are the gardeners of the canopy. With a diet consisting of hundreds of types of leaves and forest fruits, they move constantly through the canopy in search of diverse nutrition. Each howl that echoes in the morning is not just a message of communication, but a signal that the great forest's rhythm is being steadily maintained. The connection between their specialized anatomy and their biological role makes the howler monkey an irreplaceable link in the web of life. They are living proof of a scientific truth. In nature, sound itself can have the power to build a forest. Beneath the deep green vault, their calls continue to echo a hymn of evolution and a tribute to Mother Nature. Leaving the dense canopy, we arrive at the vibrant clay licks along the Amazon's riverbanks, where a fascinating biological phenomenon unfolds. Hundreds of macaws gather here, creating a moving rainbow of color against the deep green of the great forest. This behavior is known as geophagy, the practice of eating earth to maintain chemical balance and survive in a harsh environment. In the evolutionary race, many forest plants have developed alkaloid and tannin toxins in their seeds to prevent them from being consumed. The macaw's incredibly powerful beak can crush these hard shells, but in doing so, it also absorbs the accompanying toxins. These clay licks are nature's chemical filters, containing phyllosilicate minerals that can bind to and neutralize these poisons. Beyond detoxification, the clay also provides sodium and other essential trace minerals, which are exceptionally scarce resources within the rainforest. Biologically, macaws are a testament to enduring partnership, maintaining monogamous pair bonds for their entire lives. This companionship helps pairs optimize their foraging and territory management in a highly competitive ecosystem. With their long wingspans and perfect aerodynamic design, they can undertake flights of dozens of miles through the forest each day. On these journeys, the macaws unwittingly become seed transporters, maintaining the genetic diversity of the vegetation. Their brilliant coloration is not merely for beauty. It is the result of a highly sophisticated biochemical adaptation strategy. The presence of the macaw is a critical link, keeping the rhythm and balance of the Amazon's circulatory system perpetually strong. Amid the bustling pace of the old-growth forest, the three-toed sloth has chosen an entirely different path, one of absolute stillness. This is not laziness, but an intelligent, evolutionary strategy to optimize the scarce energy available in its environment. With a diet consisting mainly of nutrient-poor leaves, the sloth has evolved the slowest metabolic rate in the mammalian world. A single meal can take up to 30 days to be fully digested in its complex, multi-chambered stomach. It is this extremely slow pace of life that has turned the sloth's body into a unique, mobile ecosystem. In its thick coat, a specialized species of green algae thrives, providing the sloth with perfect camouflage amongst the verdant leaves. This symbiotic relationship also includes a species of moth, creating a rich biological network directly on its back. Periodically, once a week, the sloth undertakes a perilous journey, a slow descent to the forest floor to defecate. This act is not simply for sanitation, it is a way of directly fertilizing the base of its tree, nurturing its own food source. By returning nutrients to the soil, the sloth completes a closed-loop nitrogen cycle, sustaining the life and health of its host tree. The sloth is proof that success in nature does not always belong to the fastest, but to the most energy efficient. In its world, slowness is the key to sustainable and harmonious existence within the heart of the great Amazon. Every movement of the sloth is a lesson in balance, where each individual is a small link nourishing a much larger life. Beneath the Amazon's carpet of decaying leaves, a silent industrial revolution takes place every single day. Leaving the subterranean factories, we move to the intersection of two worlds, the water's surface and the forest's edge. Here, the jaguar and the caiman coexist as powerful entities, acting as guardians of the balance for the entire river system. The jaguar is the only large cat to have such a close and wondrous connection to the aquatic environment of a tropical ecosystem. With their specialized musculature and masterful swimming abilities, they can manage vast territories that include islands separated by swift currents. In conservation science, the jaguar is identified as an umbrella species because its existence ensures the survival of thousands of other species within the same habitat. Their presence just beneath the surface, the caiman fulfills a vital biochemical role for all aquatic life. They act as mobile recycling plants, consuming energy and releasing essential nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen back into the water through their waste. This nutrient-rich waste is a precious source of life for phytoplankton, the very beginning of a sustainable food chain beneath the river. During the seasonal dry periods, the presence of caiman helps regulate fish populations, preventing a boom in any single species that could deplete aquatic resources. The relationship between the jaguar on land and the caiman in the water forms one of nature's most sophisticated systems of top-down regulation. Though they reign in two different environments, together they maintain a dynamic equilibrium, preventing the wetland ecosystem from falling into chaos. It is thanks to these kings of the waterways that the Amazon can sustain a level of biodiversity that is the most complex and perfect on the planet. Each individual exists not for itself alone, but as a living component that keeps the great wheel of evolution turning tirelessly through time. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is an intricate biological machine in which every creature we have just met is an inseparable part. From the resounding howls in the high canopy to the silent fungus gardens deep underground, all are weaving together a resilient symbiotic network. We have seen how the slow-moving sloth nurtures its host tree, and how the macaw deciphers nature's chemical puzzles to survive. The presence of iconic species like the jaguar and the caiman serves as a critical linchpin, holding this entire system in a state of dynamic balance. Science has shown that every link in this circulatory system, no matter how small, like the leafcutter ant, carries the mission of regulating the breath of our planet. The Amazon does not exist in isolation. It is the heart that regulates our climate, a living library of biological knowledge of which humanity has only just begun to read the first chapters. Conserving this great forest is not just about protecting a wilderness, but about safeguarding a life support system that has been fine-tuned over millions of years of evolution. As the sun sets over the rolling river, the Amazon continues its silent yet powerful pulse. But its lessons of balance and of reverence for Mother Earth will resonate forever.